Welcome back to the channel, guys. Look at what I just bought yesterday. I bought a Honda ADV150, as you can see over there, and that's my beloved PCX150. I have not ridden it other than the test drive on it, so I don't know much about riding characteristics thus far, but I want to do a full-on comparison because this is essentially the best scooter segment I know of. Now on the left, as you guys know, this is the Honda PCX. This is a 2013, and that is a 2022 Honda ADV150. So it's a really good comparison. Both about the same color. I love red, so I always go with red. Honda red is awesome. And the ADV has got way more features than the PCX. And I don't know that much about them, so I'm gonna find out about it. But let's look at the ADV. Just cool looking, nice color. This one has got ABS. The PCX does not have ABS, so right off the bat, brakes are better. And it's got that warp rotor as opposed to the straight up disc, which is no big deal. And of course, this one is a little bit damaged. Also keep in mind that the PCX has got 26,000 miles. This one, I bought it with 10,000. So it's definitely not the best comparison. It would be nice to have the same model year, but you know, I always get good deals on older bikes, and I don't really care too much about the age because they're about the same. Styling wise, of course, it's extremely different. This one's got an aftermarket rack, which I like because if I do delivery, it'll be easy to put on. And the dash, completely different. And of course, this one's keyless. That one still uses a key. So if I look at this, it's kind of annoying because you have to constantly be putting it in and out when you're doing deliveries. And look at this, you have a handlebar here. And this one is a much more comfortable riding position. This one feels more aggressive. And look at this, you have that keyless thing. So that is a benefit for doing food delivery. You just keep the key in your pocket. You don't have to constantly be fumbling with it. And of course, look at this, the front brake, the parking brake is right there. Easy to do with one hand. This one is right there. So difficult to use that I never use it. Never use it. It's one of the worst designs ever done by Honda on a parking brake. I've never seen anything so bad. And then here you have this pocket, and this pocket is a terrible design because this little hinge is just so difficult to operate, and then if you have a paper or something, it gets stuck in there. But on the ADV, and I believe on the new ADVs or PCXs also have this. So you push it in, pops right out, and it's kind of deep, so you can put a lot of stuff in there. And then you have an outlet, a 12-volt outlet inside, so really nice feature, much better than the PCX. So one of the things that you'll realize is that the ADV's engine is actually smaller than the PCX. So that's right, the PCX I believe is a 153cc and the ADV is a 149cc, but the ADV has got more horsepower, maybe like 2-3 horsepower more than the PCX. And it's also got more torque than the PCX. And the windshield on this is much nicer, it's larger, deflects more. But this one, this is a brilliant design. You push these two things on each side and it is adjustable. So right from the factory, an adjustable windscreen. It's a brilliant idea. So another really important note is that this particular one has got about 5.1 inches of travel in the front. That's about 3.5, and in the rear it's the same thing. It's like 5 as opposed to the 3 on the PCX. So the suspension is going to be much more compliant on average city streets on this. So one of the reasons that perhaps this makes it just an overall better bike. The seat height, so for shorter riders, on the ADV is slightly higher, and that could be an issue if you're a shorter rider. So you see there's like less space here on the ADV as opposed to the PCX. And the seat is wider, so that makes it a little bit taller as well, because the way your thighs sit. Showa rear suspension. And another interesting thing is that the ADV150 has got a 13-inch rear wheel and a 14 up front. I actually would prefer to have 14s like the PCX. The PCX has just got two 14-inch wheels. That makes more stability. But the reason I believe Honda did this is that now you have more suspension in the rear with a smaller wheel, and it creates a little bit more nimble feeling when you have a smaller wheel. Now I do need front and rear tires for this, so I'm going to order them out. And yeah, I mean, that's really the only thing. This bike was dropped at a standstill, so it did break a couple of things. You know, you got the bar end scratches and some minor stuff. But this one, you know, I bought this in North Carolina, and the owner hit a car, so I had to fix that front part. And I left this plastic like that. It's got a hole in there. I'll probably fix it with just some tape because it looks pretty terrible. But I do like the 14-inch wheels on this, and I love this bike. This is a really good bike, but I was like, you know what? I want to see how this one compares. Another thing is that this one's got LED lighting, and right away, as soon as you turn it on, it's much better than the PCX. So it'll be interesting to do a full-on comparison. But let me start the bike so you can hear each one of them. So let's start the PCX. Of course, digital or analog gauges. And that's it. I mean, this thing starts right off. That's the beauty also of using the scooter as opposed to a motorcycle. I know that guys do riding on motorcycles for delivery, but because of the constant stopping, it's really better to have a scooter, especially like a Honda, because the way these bikes start, they start off the stator. There's like a way of starting these bikes that doesn't use the cranking that a traditional motorcycle would have. Now let's start this. So the key for the ADV, you can just leave it anywhere, and as long as it's in proximity, you just turn this on somehow. There we go. On. I believe that's it. And now it says like key on there, and you just push. Wait a minute, I think it's one more. Yeah, one more. Really cool dash. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it sounds exactly the same. So there's a couple like minor differences between the engines. It's essentially the same engine, but this one's got a different bore and stroke than that one. Compression rate is the same, so essentially exactly the same. It's an exact copy, just slightly modified. But look at those cool headlights. Definitely really cool. Honda did a really good job with it, but I know that a lot of people do use these for some light ADV style riding. I don't particularly like the idea of using it for that. I have a CRF 250 that I can use for off-roading, but it would be interesting. It's got a lot of plastic to damage as well if you ride off-road, but look at the bright tail light. Really, really good. It's got exhaust, you know, it kind of makes it look so much sportier, but it's just pretty much all looks. And I believe the airbox is different than the PCX, but this is all things that I'm going to find out. And I believe it's about the same, let me turn it off, seat. So I do love the mechanism for opening the seats. It's really easy, and this one's got a strut. The PCX does not have, not a strut, it's got a spring. That one doesn't have it, and I wonder if it just came that way. And look at this. This is different, but I do have the stock handrails that I like. I like these stock handrails, but it's about the same. same amount of space that the other one has. And this is nice, of course. You can still strap and loop things down. And you have your fuel here. Boom. And it's a little bit deeper than the PCX, but really interesting bikes. Honda has been killing it with the mini bikes, and these two should be incredible. I love the PCX. It's the best scooter I've ever had, and I am thinking that perhaps the ADV150 could be a step up and definitely a complement. And you know, I had the Zuma 125 and I love the looks of it. It's just the seating position on it was really tough on me. I didn't like that seating position, but these are better. The PCX is just so comfortable. I can ride it all day long, and I believe that the ADV150 is going to be about the same. All right, I just wanted to do a quick video of the new bike in the garage, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.